All right, session 6 after much delay. All right. So last time you guys had buried the burgomaster in the church at Barovia. And upon leaving the church, you ran into someone who was selling pastries and collecting payment for said pastries. Her name was Morgantha. She basically was hammering on the door to one of these houses, and you guys walked up and asked what was going on and found out that she was collecting payment in the form of a small child named Lucian. And you weren't having any of that, so you started a combat session with her, managed to get the kid out of the cart after setting it on fire, traded a few blows with her, and then she, poof, disappeared. Following which, you went to the kid's house, took a look around, and figured out, okay, mom and dad are basically crack parents, so didn't want to leave the kid with her. So you took the kid back to the mansion, to Ismark and Arena's house, where you spent the night until the next morning, where you went out for the actual burial. And following that, you left the child with Donovich, the priest. And that pretty much wrapped up everything you needed to do in Barovia. So you hit the road and headed to Vallaki, where you went to the Blue Water Inn and made the acquaintance of multiple people. The innkeeper and his wife, the Mardikovs. You ran into some wolf hunters and two other guys that looked like they were brothers and were talking in a drunken leer to one another, and a half-elf bard who you found out was named Rictavio. You sent him over a bottle of wine, which he thanked you for, and you found out that he's performing at the inn later that evening. Following that, you went out on the town and did a little bit of exploring. You went to the Erisek Stockyard, which was the general store, and figured out, okay, pricing there is still inflated, but not as bad as it was in Village of Barovia, where it was like 10 times as much. Here it's only 5 times as much. Player's Handbook. So you managed to sell off some of the stuff that you sold, or that you took from the house, the Durst household.
You could get 2.
What was that? Oh, we lost someone.
Go ahead. I said you could.
Yeah, we lost you, Dave.
Yeah, you're lagging really bad.
In any case, you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still lagging really badly. In any case, you guys went from the stockyard in front. You found a wagon that you found, that you realized belonged to Rictavio, and inside of that was some kind of creature that was moving around and growling. So you left that alone for the time being. Moved on to Blinsky's toy shop, where you were looking for a toy for the child, Lucian. And you found that while he was looking for something appropriate as a toy, that Blinsky had actually been making this series of dolls that were in the exact likeness of Arena Kolyana. And you found out that they were being made on commission specifically by the request of the Burgomaster's henchman named Izek, the one with the demonic arm, who apparently can start fires. So Blinsky was definitely too terrified of Izek to give you this likeness of Arena, but he agreed to make another one for you. He said Izek was going to be in to pick up the one that you guys were looking at within a day or two. So you definitely were intrigued as to what was up with this. But he agreed to make another copy of the doll for you guys, and he said it would be ready in about a week or so. And that's pretty much where we left off. You guys were planning on heading back to the inn, the Blue Water Inn, but you're right now standing in front of Blinsky's toy shop.
All right.
And I've labeled some additional parts on Vallaki here. Blinsky's was right here. You had been to a Sarek's stockyard there. The Blue Water Inn is there. You had also heard that there was a church to the Morning Lord in town, and that's located here. The town square, which is where the upcoming festival of the Burning Sun is going to be held, is right there. There's a few other places and buildings around town, but that's just giving you an overall of the village itself.
All right. Let's see. Was it nighttime when we finished all that up?
No, it was probably mid to late afternoon. So actually probably closer to like 4 or 5 o'clock. So you still got a few hours of daylight left.
All right, so we probably want to go ahead and do something since we have a few hours left. Does anyone have something they wanted to do?
Did Paul freeze up on your side?
Which Paul?
The DM?
No, he's moving.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's your
He's like
internet
totally
connection.
locked up on my screen.
Yeah. Yeah, you completely froze up for us too.
Yeah, you've been in and out of freezing on my screen. But, yeah. So, Tim is muted, but other than that, everyone's good now.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't hear Paul either.
You can't hear me at all?
Mm-mm, nothing.
You don't hear him? Wow.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
No, we can't hear you.
Stop.
Can you hear me?
As if we don't have enough technical challenges.
I'm gonna refresh this again.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
So did anyone have something they wanted to do?
Well, you guys had expressed an interest in a number of things that were... I had actually made a list in the Lauren Rumors handout.
I'm looking at that list right now.
Didn't we say we wanted to go next to the winery?
Yeah, that's what I thought our next thing was, but if there's only a few hours of light, how far away did we find out the winery was?
It was a ways. You would definitely be after dark before you reached.
Well, yeah, not tonight.
Yeah, so we have a few hours tonight to do something in town, and then I think we should head to the winery tomorrow. I agree with that. I know at one point in time, Rowan had mentioned going to the church in town, but other than that, I don't know if anyone had anything they wanted to do.
Barely pushed my legs off the sand.
Rowan, did you want to go to the church or anything?
I'm open to go anywhere.
Otherwise, I'm just
Not a
going to go to the
necessity.
inn and drink.
Not a necessity.
I'm down to go to the inn and drink and find out what more rumors we can find out about.
Now I got a thing about Paul
No way Specs can complain when you come back to camp this
disconnected, and then everybody else goes disconnected.
smug when you see him. Yeah.
I've got this weird voice in the background.
Yeah,
me
I'm
too.
hearing someone's background noise. I don't know who's.
Somebody have a TV in the background?
I don't know. It's gone now.
Yep, that was weird. Okay, so you guys wanted to head back to the Blue Water Inn?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna decide to do.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul froze up again for me. DM Paul.
Not
That's
for me.
interesting because he's been fine for me. You're a
Can you
little
guys-
laggy.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Kyle, Paul, and
Yeah,
Tim.
I can hear all three of you guys.
Yeah, those three guys are fine. Dave, you're lagging like no tomorrow.
I even have everything else like closed. I mean, I have no other. Jen isn't home. There's nothing streaming on the TV or anything. So I got all the bandwidth to myself here.
Weird.
So this is kind of weird.
That is weird.
Now you're doing fine right now, so let's run with it.
Yeah. Keep rolling. Go to the inn. I believe there. Did you have a map for that?
Yeah, I'll take you to the Blue Water Inn.
Well, you'll just have to tell me what's going on.
You can't hear me at all,
I
Dave?
can't hear him or anything.
Oh, you can't hear him. Okay, well, he took us to the inn. In case you can't see that.
That's just bizarre.
Yep.
Even if that's all you take from
Oh, that I was like, why is everything black? I was on the wrong layer.
Yeah, you guys had approached, and I guess...
Yeah, I was seeing the same thing. We were only on the first floor.
Yeah. You guys had approached, and that's where you would arranged yourselves last time you were here.
Yeah, I remember that. So I'm just gonna... I don't have much ale left, so I'll probably end up just drinking some wine. How much was the wine again? I'm gonna talk to the bartender and ask for...
Actually, I added the Vallaki price list.
But you got the ale?
I'm not out of ale, but I'm close, so... I'm gonna save that. Where's the price list?
It's in the handouts under Adventure, Town of Vallaki. I added prices for the Blue Water Inn.
Under handouts?
It's under Adventure, actually.
Okay, there we go. That's why I found it now. Okay.
So, yeah, you can get Purple Grape Mash by the pint or the bottle, or Red Dragon Crush by the pint or bottle.
Alright, I'm gonna get a bottle of the Purple Grape Mash. Number 3. Is her husband around?
Yeah, Orwin is actually in the kitchen. He's normally prepares the meals or preps food or just generally takes care of the place while Danica tends bar and tends to the customers. Did you want to ask for him or talk to him specifically?
No, I was just curious if he was around more than anything. I don't have anything I need to ask him in particular, so
Okay.
it's just curious. And those two guys that were sitting at the table with us, or by me, they left.
Yeah, they're no longer there. The other two guys were the same two guys that you saw before, the kind of drunken younger guys that look like they're brothers. They're still sitting there, and Rictavio is still there, although he actually now is at the bar.
Okay, well, when I got my ale, I want to walk up to Rictavio and ask him what's in his wagon or whatever it is, cart. I don't remember what exactly that thing is, but
Okay. Yeah, he's sipping a wine, and he kind of looks over at you and says, "What do you mean?"
inside the wagon over at the general store, you said that was your wagon. There sounds like there's some animal in there. Do you know what that is, or?
An animal?
Yeah, something was scratching at the walls and making noise in there.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So it should be empty.
Can we see if he's lying?
Sure, if you want to make an insight check.
Yeah, I'd like to make an insight check on
Okay.
that. For sure. Oh, you got a 20 and I got a 15.
Nice.
It's not too bad.
Okay. Yeah, Kyle and Paul, you can both tell that he's definitely being less than honest about not knowing what you're talking about. Tim, with your insight check, you actually get the impression that he's not doing it with any kind of malicious intent, that he's being very cautious.
Okay. I say,
Interesting.
don't worry. We're not going to turn you into anyone. You can confide in us. We're strangers here, too.
Yes, I can see that you're strangers.
Wow.
Let's just say that what's in the cart is of my own business. It will not do anyone any harm.
Is there anything we can do to help you?
Well, at the moment, I don't need any assistance, although if you'd like to make any donations after my performance this evening. But perhaps we can talk later. I would be interested to know what your experience has been around in Barovia.
I would be interested in your experience as well.
Fair enough. I will be starting my performance within probably, shortly after dusk.
How long till dusk?
You've got probably about an hour and a half or two.
Okay. We already paid for rooms here, correct? I believe
Yes.
that last week.
Yeah, Clytus prepaid for 2 nights for everyone, I think. Well, I think Arena and Ismark paid for their rooms, but yeah, you've got 2 nights. Jugs, you insisted on having your own private room, and everyone else is going to stay in the common room.
I like my own privacy when I'm sleeping. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk to anyone. I'm fine with sitting back and drinking a little bit more and waiting for the performance because I kind of want to. I'm interested in what that is.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, Rictavia says that he's got to run a few errands, but he'll be back in about an hour and a half, and then he'll do his spiel, which is not really like an instrumental performance. It's he's going to tell tales about places he's been and so forth. So he'll plan on returning in an hour or so, and till then you guys can hang at the bar.
I'm gonna get a solid buzz going.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you see those 2 guys that were talking before. They're now very, very drunk, and you've got a ways to go to catch up to them. Are you going to go sit and talk to them, or you just sit amongst yourselves?
Did we ever find out who they were before?
You never specifically asked about them. You overheard them talking about some drunken exploit that
Yeah.
went on, but that was about all you caught. You didn't actually talk to them or ask Danica about them.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go sit down at their table and see if they say anything or do anything.
Okay. You sit down, and actually they both kind of look at you like, hi.
Hello, gentlemen.
You were in here before, weren't you?
Yeah, we all were. I don't know if you remember my friends over there, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As well.
I remember that really hot chick in the red hair, and yeah. That.
Clytus? Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not a chick.
Oh.
He's not, no.
Oh, yeah, I guess he's got a beard.
Yeah. Sorry to ruin that for you, but I don't know, maybe he's open to your advances. You can try that out later, but
It's not really my type, but anyway, who are you guys? You look like you're not from around here.
No, we actually ended up here. Not quite sure what happened. We're all from different places, but kind of recently ended up here. We're not entirely sure what's going on. Are you guys from the area?
Yeah, we're from town. My name's Nikolai. This is my brother Carl. And the other guy just kind of like shakes his head. Yeah, I'm Carl. I'm the smarter one. Who are you guys?
Well, I'm Garrick. You can call me Jugs, but over there we have Adrin and Rowan and Clytus, as well as Ismark and Irina, I think. Yeah, is that right?
Yes, that's their name.
Okay.
Those two look like I've seen them before or something. Are they from around here?
Ismark and Arena?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from, I guess, the next town over. It's a ways away, but whatever. What was the name of it?
Oh,
Barovia.
I know that.
From
That's
Barovia.
Barovia. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there, I think, once or twice, but it was a while back. But you guys are like all dressed up for fighting and stuff. Are you gladiators or something?
Just adventurers, I'd say. We just kind of roam around and help out with odd jobs and to help keep the peace if we can.
Did you ever kill anything?
I've killed quite a many things.
Did you ever kill any people?
No people.
Oh. What about your friends? And he kind of leans over to the party at the table and says, "Hey, did you guys ever kill anybody?"
Clytus, Adron?
I have
Why
not.
are you looking to be? You looking to?
Oh, no. I just was wondering. Life is really boring here, so anytime somebody comes around and looks like they're actually tough, I like to find out what they're up to, But anyway, can I get you guys something to drink?
Certainly.
Yeah, I will never turn down a drink.
Okay. He hollers for another bottle of purple grape mash number 3, and Denica goes and brings it over, and she looks at the two guys kind of disapprovingly and says, "You probably shouldn't drink quite so much. I don't think your mother would approve of you. It was so much alcohol running through your veins." And the two guys look up at her kind of sullenly, and Carl says, "We're big enough to handle it. I don't care what Mother thinks." And she kind of shakes her head and leaves the table.
Out of curiosity, when they pay, I'd like to pay attention. Does it appear like they have a decent amount of money with them, or?
Yeah, they actually slap down a bunch of electrum pieces. You can see that Nikolai pulls out like a fistful of coins from this kind of large purse that he's got, and you can tell that there's a bunch more in there. And he drops down a bunch of electrum pieces. And interestingly, why don't you make a perception check to see if you notice this? Oh, okay. They're electrum pieces. Okay. Yeah, we got Dave back on, but his video's out.
So I didn't notice shit.
No. Clytus, you're actually really too far away to realistically see.
Okay.
But in any case, yeah, it looks like they're very well off. They're dressed actually in clothes of nobility and so forth.
Okay. I was just curious, what kind of money they had.
Yeah, it looks like they're not hurting for money.
Okay. Well, I've just noticed there's a lot of poor people around town, so that's.
Yeah.
It's because of the price.
After that, because of the prices, yeah. After that, Danico walks away. I'd like to ask who their mother is and how she knows their mother.
Oh, well, our mother's the Lady Wachter, and, she gets involved in politics and town politics and other sorts of stuff, and she's got her book club, and a lot of people come for that, and I don't know. She does her own thing, and we don't really have too much to do with it. And Danica's just kind of shaking her head behind the bar. Hey, you guys going to the festival in 3 days?
What is this festival?
The Festival of the Burning Orb, or whatever it's called.
The sun?
Yeah, that's it. You guys are going to that? Did you go to the last one with the wolf heads? That was really cool, with all the dead wolf heads stuck on spikes around town. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we saw some of the wolf heads, but I didn't end up making it to the festival.
Oh, that's too bad. The next one's going to be pretty cool. You're going to have a great big bonfire and light a bunch of shit on fire. It'll be really cool, I bet.
I have some experience with fire.
Oh, you do? Oh, are you going to light the fire at the festival?
If I do, it might not be on purpose.
Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. So, anyway, the conversation you're having with these guys is you're not getting a ton of really useful information out of them. But they seem amiable enough.
Yeah. I'd like to ask what they think of the burgomaster. How do you... what do they think of him?
He's kind of a dick, actually. He has this whole thing where everybody's got to be happy to each other all the time and everything, so that's kind of stupid. But anyway, yeah, he's kind of a dick.
Who was the guy that was under him?
Oh, his henchman, Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac. I would like to ask, what do you guys know about Isaac?
The mention of Isaac, it looks like they kind of sober up just a little bit and kind of look furtively out the door to make sure, or out the windows to make sure he's not standing outside right there. And they say, Isaac's bad news. If you haven't seen him, he's got this really badass looking right arm that's all twisted and deformed, but it can actually light stuff on fire. In fact, I bet he's the one that's going to light the bonfire at the festival.
Interesting.
But yeah, he's the one, if you say anything bad about the festivals or refuse to be happy in any way, the burgomaster sends him after everyone.
Interesting.
Not someone you want to mess around with.
Where might we find him?
Well, he's around, definitely.
Does he hang out anywhere in particular, I guess, is what I mean.
Not here. He's usually, if he's not doing, he's usually with the guards, but if he's not doing anything, I don't know. I know he lives at the burgomaster's mansion.
Okay. Guess that's what I'm asking, so thank you.
Yeah. That's where he lives. But I don't go looking for him.
Alright, I guess I'll just kind of exchange pleasantries with them and continue drinking until that one guy comes back.
Okay. Yeah, after a while, Wherein actually comes out of the kitchen and cleans off you guys' plates, or your glasses, I should say. And he nods to you, each in turn, and he says, "Welcome. My wife tells me you've bedded down with us for the night, which is good. He says, I was wondering if I could have a word with one or two of you in the kitchen."
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll go along.
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll
He
stay
goes.
out in the bar and keep an eye on Arena and Ismark then, if
Okay.
you guys are all going.
All right. Well, he goes into the kitchen and waits for you guys to follow along. Whoever wants to go in there with him. I see Rowan goes in.
I'll go in.
Okay.
I'll go. Where are we?
The very bottom of the page. There's like 3 floors, so when it first moved to this page, you're on the 3rd floor. I didn't realize that at first.
There we go. Okay, so you three join him. Jugs, you're going to stay out there and
I'm just going to keep an eye on Arena and Ismark.
Okay. So you join Wherein in the kitchen. The kitchen is very nicely kept up. Whatever mess he might have made from making wolf steaks or whatever, he's cleaned up without any debris or whatever left around. Right now there's a pot of soup bubbling on the hearth. He looks at each of you in turn and says, has my wife discussed the issue with the winery?
No.
If you haven't heard already, there's been some sort of an issue with our shipment from the Wizard of Wine's winery. It hasn't just affected us, it's affected all of Barovia as far as I can tell. The shipments were supposed to arrive weekly, but we haven't seen it in over 6 days. And honestly, I'm rather concerned as the owner of the winery is my father. He's getting up there a bit in years, and he's got other members of my family to help out. Usually we would have heard word by now if something had happened. So we're frankly a bit concerned. Neither Danica nor I can really leave the business to go off and see what's become of them. So if you do have the time or you're passing in that direction, it would certainly be appreciated if you could check it out.
Sure.
I heard Jugs, if you really want to go. I'm kidding, but.
I'm up for it.
Me too.
Well, he gives you directions, and I can actually give me a second. I can actually show you on the larger map. So we switch over to Barovia. So if we go over, oops. Okay. So if you take the road up here, there.
And what does the dotted line indicate again?
That's where it changes from a road to being more of a trail.
Okay.
Okay.
So the winery is...
Is it like here?
Yes, exactly right there.
Oh, okay.
So,
So a ways away then.
ways, yeah. Each one of those hexes...
Yeah, I mean, considering our trip from the village of Barovia up to where we are now,
like a
only
day?
took like half a day. It only took
Okay.
like half a day.
Each hex is a quarter mile.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not terribly.
No. So he, if you say that you're going to go check it out, he thanks you profusely and says, it's greatly appreciated. In fact, if you find anything out, or at least can bring me word that my family is all right, I can definitely recompense you for your rooms and allow you to stay here as long as you wish.
Well, I know things haven't always gone the best as we've seen of late, but hopefully everything is okay over there.
Yes, I am hopeful of that as well. Things do not always go as we'd hope, though, in Barovia. So, that was pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about.
All right.
So, if you return back to the common room, after a little while, Rictavia returns, and there really isn't a stage for him to perform at, but he actually can kind of stand off atop one of the tables. He can pull it to the side and stand on top of it. And he gives... Yeah. Get the right layer. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, he starts talking about many of the places that he's been and seen. and he talks not just about Barovia, but other lands that he's been to. He talks about a group of adventurers known as Fate 7 from a faraway land known as the Grey Heavens. There's a mysterious group that seem to be able to bend time and reality to do their bidding. They were instrumental in defending the town of Firth from an army of 10,000 goblins, thousands of bugbears, hill giants, ettins, ogres, and at least 100 human or humanoids. And they were led by a powerful but mad goblin named Tit-Tot.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. He makes it sound very exciting.
That sounds too good to be true.
He also talks about another group of adventurers, this one from a land known as the Flanness. These heroes battled a cult known as the Elder Elemental Eye, who turned out to be worshippers of Tharizdun, the god of decay and madness. This group thwarted the plans of the cult of the Elder Elemental Eye to summon forth Ayuz, the elemental prince of fire, to wreak destruction upon the world. So he's obviously been around and has a lot of different tales to tell. And the group, really, it consists mainly just of you and the Wachter brothers, who are really drunk. So it seems like he's actually kind of talking mostly to you guys and ignoring the two drunk brothers that are sitting there. Danica is also.
Probably because they're there all the time.
Yeah.
I would ask him, how did he get, if he's in many worlds, how did he leave this one?
Nobody leaves this place. I have not been able to leave since I arrived here. Trying to enter the mists is suicide.
Well, that sucks.
Indeed. All my travels were from before I arrived in Barovia. And I hope to someday be able to continue traveling, but at the moment I'm not very hopeful.
How long have you been here?
About a month.
Oh, so that's still pretty new.
New, yes.
You probably haven't even done a full tour of Barovia yet.
Oh, I've seen quite a bit. I've been around Lake Zarvage to the north. I've heard of a lot of other places that sound somewhat interesting, although I haven't gotten around to exploring them, mainly because they sound a bit too dangerous. But I know that there's a haunted mansion to the west of town, southwest of town. There's a ruined town. One of the it used to be another village in the land of Barovia, but apparently the burgomaster angered Strahd so badly that he laid waste to the town and it sank into the swamp after everyone was killed. So there are abandoned ruins of that town. There are a number of other interesting places, but there aren't so many people there, and since I need to make a living telling tales, obviously I need to stick around where people will actually listen.
Well, if you were to say, hey, I want to find out how the heck I might get out of here, a library or a sage that might know of gateways to other worlds, where would I start?
He stops and thinks for a second. There are not a lot of sages in the area, but I can think of two possibilities. One would be the Vistani. They can enter and leave Barovia at will.
Well, that's handy.
For them, yes. For the rest of us, it doesn't help much.
Is the Vistani a race or a...
Yes, the Vistani are their race.
Okay.
Those are the gypsy people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the bar owners down in town.
Yep, our good friends.
Yes, there are many different tribes of Vistani. Some are more trustworthy than others. The ones at the Serpool encampment aren't too bad. There is another encampment outside of Vallaki to the west. Them I'm not too sure about. The other option would be, in terms of someone who might have accumulated knowledge or lore, There is a mysterious individual in the village of Kresk, the abbot at St. Markovia's Abbey. He has been here for quite a long time. He may have some information. I have not met him myself, but I hear tell that he is very powerful. And I guess the last option, although I'm not sure how useful it will be, there is a mad mage of Mount Bartok. There's this old wizard who is quite mad by all accounts, but he lives apparently on the slopes of Mount Bartok to the north, on the north side of Lake Zarovich. I've never met him or spoken to him or even seen him, but there are reports that he occasionally will go fishing with lightning bolts in the water, so not someone I would generally tend to strike a conversation with. But those, I think, are your best options for finding someone with extensive knowledge of the area.
All right.
So
I'm good to hang out for the rest of the night until we sleep.
okay, yeah. He goes on with a few more stories, but that's the bulk of his presentation. And the Wachter brothers kind of clap and applaud, and then it looks like they're about ready to pass out. So they kind of both get up at the same time, put our arms around each other and just stagger out the door, leaving it pretty much just you guys.
When he's done, I'm gonna flip him a gold.
Oh, he says, "Thank you very kindly." And pockets it. So, anything else you always want to do for the evening? After a while, Rictavia says that he's going to retire for the evening. So,
I don't have anything else I want to do.
okay. Now he climbs up the stairs and goes into one of the rooms on the second level. All right. Well, if there's nothing else you guys want to do, are you going to sleep for the night or?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Go.
I think so.
Okay. If I recall correctly, let me just move up to the second floor here. Actually, you guys would enter from the outside. There's a staircase on the outside of the building that gives you access to the rooms on the second floor. And if I recall correctly, you get this one, Jugs. Ismark and Arena took that one. And the rest of you guys were going to stay in the common room.
So I am up in this one. You
Yeah.
said. Okay. I'm gonna take this bed right there.
Fight yourself for which bed you want.
Can I push the two beds together?
If you wish, yeah, you can slide
That's what
stuff
I'm going to
around.
do.
The room itself, there's not a whole lot to describe in there. There are woofers on each bed. There's a lamp on the table between. The window has shutters, and there are two tall black wardrobes, both of which are empty.
Yeah.
Common room, pretty much just as it looks.
Alright. I'm gonna slide the beds together and pass out.
Okay. All right. So the rest of you guys head up to your room?
Yep.
Okay. The night passes uneventfully for most of you, except for Adrin. You actually have an extremely unpleasant dream. In your dream, you're lying in your bed in Esh at night, and suddenly a shadow detaches itself from the darker corners of the room and approaches the bed. You're unable to move as the shadow straddles you. Whatever it is, it's not insubstantial. You can actually feel its weight on your chest and the breath of something foul as it leans over you and extends its arms towards your face. And you can see that its hands are old and withered with long, dirty claws. These talons caress your face gently, and you feel disgust shudder through you. You manage to close your eyes, but you can still feel the wrinkled skin tracing across your brow and cheek like some malignant spider. This seems to go on forever until at last you wake up with a gasp.
Creepy.
Yes, a most unpleasant dream.
So, I'm assuming I don't recognize this thing.
You aren't sure what it was. All you could really discern were these kind of wrinkled, clawed hands with long, dirty nails.
Well, that's not good. I won't wake anybody up to tell anybody, though.
Okay. Yeah, and you managed to keep us from screaming. I mean, it was the type of, it was basically like, in addition to the nightmare, you had this horrible sleep paralysis thing going on where you just can't move, which kind of carried over and prevented you from screaming. But you have a great deal of trouble falling asleep for the rest of the night.
Well, I'm an elf, so I'd be meditating anyway, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, isn't it a matter of you just require less sleep, or do you just not sleep at all?
I have no idea.
We'll say that it happened while you were in your trance.
Okay.
Then, while you were transing, you kind of normally look inward, and this is what you saw. Unfortunately, you do not get the benefit of a long rest, and actually, you suffer a reduction in your max hit points. Your max hit points go down by 4.
Well, that's not good.
No. Not the normal effects of having a night. Even though you're not used to sleeping, you've had, I guess, what you call trance mirrors occasionally in the past. But nothing ever like this.
Okay, well, I don't like that.
The rest of you spend the night and get the full benefits of a long rest.
All right.
So the next day dawns. Not bright and cheery, as usual. This is Barovia.
Guys ready to go to the winery?
You bet.
Sure.
All
I'm
right.
thirsty.
Okay.
I'd like to ask Irina and Ismark, and they're not in their room, but are they in the room when we wake up, or when I wake up at least?
If you knock on the door, they do answer.
Okay. I'd like to ask if you guys are joining us to go to visit the winery.
They would be they would be open to traveling with you. Their main purpose, Ismark's main purpose in bringing Irina here was to find someplace safe. And while he feels relatively safe at the inn, it's not like a permanent place of refuge for Irina. That is, he wants someplace that he feels Irina can be safe more or less permanently from Strahd. So until that place is found, he's gonna stick with her, and he thinks you guys are definitely the best option in terms of protection.
Yeah, we can probably help protect you better than staying at this inn will. So, yeah, if you'd like to join us, we'll have you.
And he's more than willing to help out, too, in whatever tasks you guys might want to undertake.
All right.
So you guys are going to go right to the winery. You had also talked about possibly going to see the Vistani encampment or something
Well, the
else.
encampment we want to see is the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they are in
Yeah.
opposite directions.
So let's do the winery now. We can do the other later.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Alrighty, so you guys head out of town, or is there any place else in Vallaki that you need to stop beforehand?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Nope.
On the road. Okay, so you guys leave Vallaki and start making your way along. let me find where you are here. Okay.
Yeah, so we've been told how to get there, but I guess we haven't seen any of this route before, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the farthest you've been is Vallaki.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So it's basically you exit Vallaki along the through the Sunset Gate, which I can actually bring up here. Just go back to Vallaki here. We're on the Sunset Gate. Is on the west end of town here. You do actually pass by the church of St. Andrew's Church that they had mentioned. It's a large building that is dedicated to the Morning Lord. If you're just going to pass through, I know, Rowan, you had expressed some interest in going there, but I didn't know if you wanted to stop or not.
No, I don't think we need to.
Okay.
Rowan, wave to your god as we pass him.
I do notice that it's the biggest building in town.
It is actually the largest building. So
it
then,
looks like in good shape though, as we go by.
Let's see.
Versus Barovia's.
It looks definitely in better shape than Barovia's. St. Andrew's Church, it's, let's see, let me read the description. The slouching, centuries-old church has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked stained glass windows depicting pious saints. A fence of wrought iron encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church. A thin mist creeps along the graves. It definitely is old, like just about everything else you found in Barovia, but it looks like it's in better shape, definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
tended, looks tended.
I think we have more pressing needs to go check out on this guy's family, so maybe I'll stop there on the way back in town.
Okay. So you proceed out past the Sunset Gate and out of Vallaki along the old Savalich Road, heading west. And let's see. Pull up that area here. So you cross a river at this point. This is actually a bridge spanning a river, the Lunar River, actually. Road here comes to an X intersection with branches to the northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. The lower half of a snapped wooden signpost struts upward at an angle near the eastern elbow of the intersection. The top half of the sign, featuring arms pointing in four directions, lies in the weeds nearby. You had pretty much already received directions from Irwin as to which direction you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So if you continue on down the old Svalich Road, and the woods press in on all sides, you pass another road branching off to the south, but continue onward, and reaching another intersection, again heading south and continuing onward for a ways. And finally, you come to an intersection that you realize you must take that heads to the south, which gradually turns into an old trail. And you emerge from the woods where there's a fork in the road leading west, which must lead to the winery.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. So, let me get that area ready. I actually didn't think you guys were going to go to the winery right away. So.
Oh. Oops.
So, yep. So this branch off the road leads into a valley, and has a wooden signpost at this intersection that points west and reads Vineyard. So you guys are definitely on the right track. A light drizzle begins to fall. Unpainted fences blindly follow the trail, which skirts north of a sprawling vineyard before bending south towards a stately building. Fog takes on a ghostly forms as it swirls between the neatly tended rows of grapevines. Here and there you see rope-handled half-barrels used for hauling grapes. North of the trail is a large stand of trees. A man wearing a dark cloak and cowl stands at the edge of the trees, beckoning you.
Let's kill him.
What?
Of course.
What does he look like?
He's wearing dark stuff, so.
Yeah, dark cloak. He's actually a little bit a ways from you guys, so you can't make out any features. We'll say you're right about here.
He's like waving at us?
Kind of beckoning you to approach.
Okay.
I'm gonna approach.
Yeah.
Okay. You get closer, and it's actually when you approach, he leads you into kind of beckons you to come deeper into the trees.
I'm gonna ask, what do you need?
He says, "Come in here."
Why?
Who are you?
My name is Darian Martikov, and you need to get out of sight now.
I'm trying to go get some wine, but
I'm gonna try to make an insight roll and see if this guy seems trustworthy or if he seems skeevy.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea.
Oh,
One,
good
two.
roll. Nice.
Yeah,
he.
Paul's luck tonight.
Yes, definitely. You can definitely tell that he looks like he's anxious. He's has trepidation, and he keeps looking around like he's afraid something's going to come out and attack.
All right, I'll trust him.
Okay.
I'll go in with him.
Let's go.
All right.
I'm just gonna follow if Clytus goes.
I say, don't be pussies, boys. This guy seems legit.
Okay. He leads you towards this strand of trees where there's actually some cover, and as you go into this strand of trees, a bunch of other people actually kind of come out and gather around this guy. The guy in the cloak that you originally saw actually is an older man, and you can see that he has some sort of familial resemblance to Erwin Martikov from the Blue Water Inn. It looks like he might be his father. In addition to him, there's also a younger man, a slightly younger man than that, an adult woman, and another man. And
Do they all look Russian?
they all look Barovian, yes.
I just like their Russian
Yes.
names.
We're in there, right? In this woods?
Yeah, the little copse of trees.
Okay.
What's going on?
He introduces himself again as Davian Martikov, and this is his family. Adrian is the eldest son, Elvira is his youngest son, Stefania is his adult daughter, and Dag Tomescu is Stefania's husband.
Where does Erwin fit in there?
That's
That's what I'm gonna ask.
Erwin? And he kind of leans over and spits on the ground. Erwin is my son, and I have not seen him in a long time and hope to never see him again. It is his
He
fault.
seems to care about
that-
you.
Well, you could have fooled me. It is his fault that all these calamities have befallen us, of which this most recent one is just one in a long series.
What happened?
Well, what didn't happen? The winery has undergone quite a few travails recently, shall we say. To grow grapes in this environment is next to impossible. For that, we have employed these magical stones that provided the earth with enough power to draw forth the grapes. We had 3 of these magical stones. Some time ago, one of them was stolen. We never found out where, but my son was supposed to be tending guard when it occurred, and he went off to spend time with his then fiancée, Danica. While he was doing that, the gem was stolen. And ever since then, we've not been able to brew our finest vintage. Some short time ago, though, one of the other gems was stolen, and shortly after that, the third was stolen. Since that time, we've come under attack from these evil druids and their twig-like creatures that they have summoned up from the ground. They have completely taken over the winery and prevented us from even gaining access to it.
And you think your son is behind all of this?
I do not suspect him to be behind it as much as one of the original. I blame him for the original misfortune. If he would have been on guard like he should have been, then we would perhaps never have lost the first stone.
True. I totally agree with that, but I don't think he's behind any of this other stuff because, I mean, all of us are from various lands and we were basically just showed up here. And it seems like everywhere we go, there's just this pallor of depression. So, this is like a nationwide thing that's going on here.
Yes, Barovia is definitely a depressing place to live. The wine that we have produced, which we have never sold, we distribute it freely to everyone. And that is one of their solaces. It is the one thing to keep away the darkness of the night and to allow people to maintain some sort of spirit or hope in this bleak land. But since the gems have been stolen, we've not been able to produce a drop. And now we cannot even get to our winery with this infestation of the twig creatures, the plant creatures, and these mad druids.
So you mean to tell me you distribute this free, and your son had the gall to charge me for this?
What he does is his own business. I imagine that he has other expenses, of course. But we distribute the wine to everyone.
He charged me a whole gold. I'm not happy with him either right now.
He charged you a gold for the wine? Oh, did you take the Red Dragon?
Oh, yeah, I took the more expensive one.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's your own fault.
Well, I'm not going to begrudge him or even berate him for trying to make a living. It is not free, I know, maintaining his business in Vallaki. I'm sure the burgomaster there charges him much more than that for even in taxes or protection money or what other absurdities he comes up with. So I do not begrudge him necessarily making a living off of our wine.
If we save your stones, you might want to invest in some of that protection money.
I will never go to the burgomaster for protection.
You can hire somebody else.
Well, I can say this. If you are offering your services and liberating our winery, we will be very grateful indeed. We have very little money in terms of what we can share with you, but you would be welcome to a lifetime supply of our wine. That is for certain.
I like your God, Rowan.
The one thing that we should make clear is we did come here on your son's behalf to check up on you. Now, I think the reason was because he wasn't getting his shipments of wine. So I don't know whether that was the reason or he was actually worried about you guys, but I think maybe a little of both.
Yes. Well, we will see what becomes of this. It will take a lot to erase my memories of what happened, and he has a long way to go in making amends with me. But in the meantime, if you are indeed willing to do something about this scenario, first you must get to the winery, and to warn you, there are dozens upon dozens of these plant creatures surrounding the place, which is why I motioned you away. They hide in the bushes, and they will attack you en masse. Fortunately, they do not move very quickly, but be very cautious.
Are they, can they start on fire?
They can burn like any other substance. They are made of plant. I don't know if they have any special susceptibility to it.
Okay.
What could you show
How many?
me? Oh,
How
go
many
ahead.
of those druids were there?
I didn't I wasn't able to count them, but there are at least several.
Okay.
They are ruling over this massive plant that it's the plants that really drove us out, and the druid in combination they were led by the druids.
Could you show me what bush these plants are hiding in?
I do not know where they currently are. The winery that you saw, the building in the distance, I mean, it's basically surrounded by a field, and then there's this whole the vineyard, which is filled with plants.
Do you have a close-up of this area?
Nothing of the wider area, but the winery itself, I can pull up a map too once you get close to it.
Okay.
How far is the vineyard?
It's probably about 100 yards away from where this copse of trees where you're currently at.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start walking over there and keep my eyes peeled for any
So-
plant things.
Basically, on this map you have shown us, we see all these little dashes inside the hexagons. Those are like wine or grape vines.
Yeah, they're rows. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
generally rows of grapes planted.
So basically, the winery building itself is in the middle of all this
Yeah, exactly.
grape
Yeah, I was
pasture.
going to move it off. So
So
you
yeah,
were
just
in
wanna
that copse of
go
trees to the north.
Okay.
Here.
There we go.
Yeah, in the building.
Yeah.
Basically, it's actually about a quarter mile away. So more than
Okay.
100 yards.